VA refinance and forbearance is causing a lot of headaches for veterans, but it's confusing underwriters even more. Hi, I'm Scott Sheng from the Find My Way Home Expert Network. Refinancing either after or during forbearance is possible with a VA IRRRL or even a cash out refinance with no waiting periods after the refinance or after the forbearance. That's what's unique about the VA loan. As a matter of fact, the VA loan is the only option that allows you to actually refinance while you're in forbearance. So, some of the most common questions that I get around this topic is, can I refinance my loan while in forbearance? And the answer is absolutely yes. You cannot refinance a conventional loan that's Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac. You cannot refinance a FHA or a USDA loan if you're in forbearance, but VA will actually let you do that. So, what are my options after forbearance? So, typically, once you exit forbearance, you go through what's called a workout waterfall. And really, what that means is you're working with the servicer to determine the best way to get back on track and start making payments that you can afford on your VA loan. Some options that are available are loan modifications that will spread out the skipped payments over time, temporarily increasing your monthly payments. There's a deferment option where they take the amount and they put it on the end. The one thing that they cannot do, your servicer cannot do, is they cannot require you to pay the entire forbearance amount, the entire all of the skipped payments. They cannot require you to make all of those payments up front. And as a matter of fact, because you can refinance while you're still in forbearance, that may be one of the options. You refinance it, you pay off all of the past due, and maybe you fell behind on bills during COVID, or something like that. Now, the question that we get a lot of, and this is really kind of confusing to me because there is an underwriting guideline. So the common question is, how long do I have to wait to refinance a VA loan after forbearance? Well, we already discussed that you can actually refinance your VA loan while you're in forbearance, but there is no waiting period after a forbearance. Obviously, because you can refinance while you're in forbearance. But this is causing a lot of confusion. Let me go ahead and make this a full screen so that you can see this. And this is where underwriters keep getting it wrong. VA underwriters are on a pretty consistent basis misreading the guidelines about whether there's a waiting period or not. So let me give you a little bit of background before I really unpack what this guideline is. But the background is VA was having a lot of problems with predatory lenders that were refinancing veterans and then a couple months later coming back and refinancing them again. This was really common when interest rates were dropping. So these companies were calling a veteran, refinancing them, not giving them the lowest rate that they can give them, then calling them back in a couple of months and asking them to refinance again. So I believe it was the beginning of 2019, the VA changed their guidelines to protect veterans and not allow what they called churning. So part of those guidelines is that you have to make 6 consecutive payments on any VA loan before you can refinance it into another VA loan. Okay. Now, this is really, really important to understand. You need 6 consecutive payments. Now, when the CARES Act came out, when COVID-19 hit in 2020, and the CARES Act came out, basically it took a while for the VA to start releasing guidelines on how they were going to treat people coming out of forbearance after they went into forbearance. So right around June or July, they actually did come out. I think it was June, and they released guidance, and they basically said you cannot count the skipped payments against a veteran. Okay, so the payments that were skipped cannot be used against you. They cannot be counted against you. Now, you do have to have made 6 consecutive payments. So here's the guideline that's actually in the circular. The borrower must make, so the veteran must make at least 6 consecutive monthly payments on the loan being refinanced. And here's what throws the underwriters off. The example they give is this. For example, in a case where a borrower has made 5 consecutive payments before invoking the CARES Act forbearance, that borrower would need to make 6 additional consecutive payments after the forbearance in order to meet the seasoning requirement. Now, what's happening is the underwriters are reading that, and they're only reading the part that says you have to make 6 consecutive payments post forbearance. But what it specifically says is if you only made 5 payments before going into forbearance, then you would have to make 6 payments after forbearance before being able to refinance. So if you refinance, let's say you refinanced in 2019 and you made 7 payments on your loan, and then COVID hit and you went into forbearance, as long as you had 6 payments prior to forbearance, then you can refinance immediately with no waiting periods. I cannot tell you how many people, because this isn't the first time I've written about this. I have another article about this on findmywayhome.com, and I get comments all the time from consumers that are being told by their lender that they have to wait 6 months or they have to make 6 payments before they can refinance. That is 100% wrong. And the problem is, you are either working with a loan officer that doesn't understand the guidelines, or the loan officer is working with a underwriter that doesn't understand the guidelines, and the loan officer doesn't know how to have a conversation with the underwriter in order to get this corrected. But what I can 100% promise you is that if you made 6 payments prior to forbearance, there is no waiting period, and you are eligible to refinance either while you're in forbearance to pay back the past due payments and maybe catch up on some bills. So you can either do an IRRRL, an interest rate reduction refinance without taking cash out, or you can do a cash out refinance, pay off some bills, consolidate your debt that you racked up during COVID, and then finally pay off the past due skipped payments or any skipped payments that you had after that. Or during the forbearance. So if you have VA questions, it's very important that you speak with a VA expert. So at Find My Way Home, you can either reach us at findmywayhome.com, or if you're in a place where you can scan this with your phone, or you're watching this on the computer or something, you can go to Find My Way Home, and I have a network of loan officers that cover all 50 states that are experts in VA loans. So if you need a introduction to a mortgage expert that can help, stop by the website. You can ask us questions. You can give us a call. You can even schedule a time on the calendar to have a conversation about your VA loan and about your refinance options. So I hope you found this helpful. And if somebody tells you that there are waiting periods, I hope you didn't take no for an answer. So thanks for listening, and I hope this helps.